Sandeep Thanki welcoming you to Procure Evolve. Have you heard in your organization people using procurement and purchase as a synonym? I have seen even a very senior level project professionals using these two terms interchangeably. So the question arises whether there is any difference between these two terms or these two terms are actually synonyms. So the clear answer to this question is these two terms are not synonyms. There is a big difference between these two terms. So why we should understand these two terms has one more reason. Because when you understand the terminology properly, you understand the actions connected with each of this terminology. Whenever you hear or whenever you speak these terms from your mouth, when you use this term in your office language, it drives a different set of mindset. The meaning that we have perceived in our mind drives our actions. This is how human mind works. So let us delve into this topic. So in order to understand these terms, let us first take purchase. What is purchase? Purchase is a very straightforward activity wherein any material or services when required in the organization, the buyer is provided a purchase requisition wherein what material is required, what quantity is required, and from which all vendors the quotation is to be obtained is categorically mentioned. So what the buyer does, he issues the request for quotation in the market, obtains the quotation, tabulates the quotations, maps the prices quoted by different suppliers or the service providers, and after negotiating the price and major terms and conditions, that is payment term and all, and issues the purchase order. Once the purchase order is issued, he expedites the supplies, follows up with the supplier or the service provider to deliver the supply or render the services. Upon receipt of these services and the supplied materials, he coordinates to get the payment released. So this is what is the purchase cycle. So it's a very straightforward transactional process wherein material is bought. Now to understand procurement. Procurement is an umbrella term. So let us try to understand procurement. So whenever any material or services are required to be acquired by any business, the first activity is to analyze this need, to identify what exact technical parameters the required material should have, what quantity of material is required. This also applies to the services. So after identifying the technical aspects, after identifying the quantities, the next stage is to conduct a market survey, a market research, to identify what all options are available which can suffice the material need identified or the service need that has been identified. Next stage is who all are the potential supplier or the service provider who can suffice this material or the service need. What all are their capabilities? Where are they located? How fast and how efficiently they can provide the services? What is their proven track record? Many more parameters needs to be evaluated. First of all, the information has to be gathered and then the evaluation needs to be conducted. So if you want to know more about this process, we already have made a video about RFX process. You can click the I button and understand more about the RFX process. Now coming back to this topic, the next stage is where the technical specifications needs to be moderated. After conducting the analysis of options available in the market, who all are the potential solution providers in the market, After rounds of discussion with these potential solution providers, the procurement person finds opportunities to optimize the technical requirements. Optimizing, there might be a possibility of changing the technical requirements. So after getting this feedback based on the discussion with the solution provider and after analyzing the available solutions in the market, the buyer may, with consultation with the technical team, design and engineering team, conducts an exercise to enhance the technical requirements. And after conducting this value creation exercise, the next process is exactly what we discussed while explaining the purchase cycle. That is, issuing the inquiries in the market with this finalized requirement and the final technical specification and the bill of materials, receiving the quotations, tabulating the quotations, negotiating with the parties, and eventually entering into contract. But then, after placement of the contract, the procurement person evaluates the performance of the contract on a predefined time intervals. And once the services and products are delivered, the procurement guy also evaluates the performance of the supplier or the service provider. During this entire process, the center idea is to create value for the business, to establish a long-term relationship with the service provider or the supplier. Now, after understanding this life cycle of procurement, now let us summarize the differences between purchase and the procurement to have better clarity. The purchase cycle is a transactional cycle wherein the focus is on cost, and it's a reactionary process. Whenever the purchase requisition is received, when the material needs have arisen, the purchase guy will fulfill that requirement of material or the services. Now, the procurement is more holistic. Procurement is not a reactionary process, rather it's a proactive process wherein the material needs are identified, analyzed well in advance. The procurement process focuses more on value. Of course, there is a price part involved, but their focus is on value creation. So now, after understanding these aspects of procurement and the purchase, I hope you have better clarity about these two terms. See you soon in the next video. Till then, goodbye.